Play ball, sports fans. Welcome into a new episode of The Leaderboard, where we highlight the local sports stories, stars, and moments making headlines.
Tyler, have you ever seen what's really inside the Mud Hens clubhouse?
I've gotten a glimpse of it, but I haven't really seen exactly what's in there.
Well, I'm excited because coming up, we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the clubhouse.
Yeah, I'm excited, and now I haven't been here the last two shows. I know you and Dan have been holding down the fort, so I am eager to get back in the action. And it's another jam-packed program we have for you watching at home and online. As we mentioned, a look underground at Fifth Third Field, behind the scenes with the Mud Hens, from the weight room to the video lounge. We'll show you how the players live, train, and unwind on this week's leaderboard.
Then we're catching up with a hometown star. Former Clay standout and MLB player Achter tells us what he's up to now. Plus, I got a chance to speak with trailblazing sports writer Christine Brennan. This is a conversation you won't want to miss.
Absolutely, and we've also got football on our minds. I sit down with a few local coaches to talk trick plays, and we're checking in with Toledo's new volleyball coach as well, with the Rockets gearing up for its season. So let's jump in.
Have you ever wondered what life is like behind the scenes for the Toledo Mud Hens? Well, right now we're taking you where fans can't normally go, inside the clubhouse at Fifth Third Field. From high-tech video rooms to post-game meals and even gaming lounges. It's a full tour of how the Mud Hens get game ready without ever leaving the stadium. Photojournalist John Juby takes us inside.
You've seen it over the years, starting back in 2002 to this point. So many different things have popped up down here, and I think this was probably the starting point for all of that. When the players come down here, they are completely taken care of from the second they walk into the ballpark to the second they leave. From laundry to meals to being able to relax to a weight room. You've got all the indoor batting cages. There is basically everything you could possibly imagine. If somebody needed to live in here, they probably could. Okay, so we talk about all the amenities and cool things down here in the Mud Hens clubhouse. This is a really cool thing that just got added kind of recently. There's a bunch of different video games that are loaded onto this machine. So the guys can come in, they relax, they can play some video games. This is the main lounge area, so the guys spend a ton of time down here. Couches, recliners, they've got huge TVs. So the players do get meals here. They'll get them after batting practice, they'll get them after games, and this is where they'll come down. The meals will be prepped in here. And they've got the kitchen, and then there's a full pantry back here with all sorts of different little snacks and waters and things like that. So the players will get to enjoy all those kind of things down here. First stop is the coach's office. Pitching coaches, hitting coaches, bench coaches, all strength and conditioning, all those kind of things. Those are all in here. The coaches are all in here. They've got their own shower and everything that connects into the manager's office back through here. And then the next stop, this is the video room. So a lot of work is done in here where guys are working on their swings, looking at things from previous nights, and there's a ton of stuff down here. I love this though. It's a beautiful view of the beach. Up next, this is Gabe Alvarez's office for this year. He is our manager. So the manager gets his own office, and again, it's connected with the bathrooms back there. He's got his closet, all the different hats we wear, all hung up there on his wall. And here is our weight room. So they have everything they could possibly need. This is a gigantic weight room. Everything you could possibly imagine the guys would need or want is all packed in here. And then as you come down this main hallway, you come into the actual locker room. So this is where the guys get ready for the games. You can see each player's stall has their laundry loops. They've got cleats, shower shoes, all the different jerseys that we wear. And yes, you have multiple different jerseys. Of course, mud crawlers, one of our alternate identities. They wear those on Thursdays. You've got your main white. You've got your batting practice jerseys. Mud hounds, those are worn on Tuesdays. And then all your road stuff is in here as well. There's your bat rack over here. There is a ton over here. So each guy has like their own thing. You know, like Justin Henry Malloy, for example. One of his bats. Boom. Grab your bats on the rack, and then they're headed out to the field. Just going this way. One stop. These are the indoor batting cages. They've got a ton of technology down here as well. So guys can get their swings in before the game, during the rain, or before a game. They'll come in and get a ton of work out here. And then you go straight out to the field. I think going from Ned Skelton to Fifth Third Field was probably a little culture shock for a lot of people back in 2002. But now when you come around this ballpark, you see just how beautiful it is and continues to be.
It's all part of what makes Fifth Third Field one of the top experiences in minor league baseball, and a big reason players love coming to Toledo. Tyler, I didn't know they had that much of an extent of qualitative area. I mean, it makes sense that they're kind of pouring back into the players considering how many hours the players spend all season, just about 162 game season. It probably makes it a little more worthwhile to stay at the field all those hours.
Yeah, you got to have guys that are comfortable. Obviously, they're going to be there weeks and weeks out. Obviously, they're at the field. Now, I've been fortunate actually to be inside the clubhouse, obviously going back to Gabe Alvarez's office there to speak with him a couple of times. I did not notice the arcade. That is a cool addition there. I wonder how often they get to battle on the arcade. And I loved the beach picture, obviously, in the video room.
Yeah.
You know, we're in Toledo. We don't have a lot of beach here. So obviously to have kind of a little fun added element there in the video room obviously makes a lot of people smile, just kind of maybe looking at that after a long day of working on their stuff.
Definitely. And what I think of as an athlete, thinking back to playing in college, having your jerseys and equipment all stay in the locker room, in the clubhouse, kind of avoids that forgetfulness you could have on a crazy game day. I've had many times where I had to run many laps for forgetting a jersey back at home. So the fact that they can have them in those lockers, do all their laundry and everything there, it makes it a better situation for everyone.
Yeah, it still boggles my mind how much they have. You see how many jerseys and hats they have? And the bats too. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, stick with baseball. We caught up with A.J. Achter, the Clay High School graduate and Michigan State standout and former Major League pitcher, one who still hasn't forgotten where it all started. Dan Cummins has his story.
Long before the big league call-ups, the Cape Cod All-Star Game, or taking the mound in front of thousands, A.J. Achter was a three-sport athlete at Clay High School and proud of it.
Clay was an awesome experience. You know, I couldn't ask for anything more out of my high school experience at Clay.
He remembers the moment things clicked, a summer travel tournament, a mid-'80s fastball, and a scout from Michigan State in the stands.
I was playing summer ball for a team called the Toledo Hitmen. I remember throwing my sophomore year, it was one of the games that Michigan State just happened to be at. And I was throwing mid-upper 80s as, barely ever, really pitching before. And that's when I was kind of like, oh, okay, I think this is probably going to be my path.
Achter chose Michigan State and fell in love with the program instantly.
When I started getting recruited by Michigan State, I thought it was, 4 hours away. I didn't know where East Lansing was. Little to find out, it's like an hour and 45-minute drive.
Then came the Cape Cod League, one of the most prestigious summer leagues in the country.
And it was just an amazing experience. To live with the host family, live on one of the most beautiful places on earth. It really was an awesome experience. We won the league title that year and still stay in touch with a lot of those guys on that team and played against and with a lot of them in pro ball too. So it was a really cool experience.
The Twins drafted him in 2010, but the moment was far from glamorous.
So I went home and took a nap. I'm literally sleeping when I get the call from Jeff Pohl, the Twins scout who drafted me, said, "You've been drafted 46th round." And I was literally sleeping. So
that grind took him through 6 levels of minor league baseball, all the way to his Major League Baseball debut in 2014 with Minnesota.
It was the end of the year. I was in AAA Rochester. I was having a really good year again. It was my second year in Rochester. And the manager called me to the office, say it was like August 31st, and says, "Hey, you're going up to the big leagues. We have 2 more days left in the season, but you're not going until our season's over because we might make the playoffs." So I actually had to pitch the day before I went to the big leagues. I could not get hurt or else I was going up, so really one of the coolest things I've ever experienced.
He made his debut against the White Sox, then picked up his first MLB win against the Tigers on Michigan State night at Comerica Park.
Just a really cool kind of full circle moment where grew up a Tigers fan, get to pitch on Michigan State night, get the win. Just a really neat experience.
And yes, he pitched in Toledo at Fifth Third Field in front of friends, family, and a full page of names on the pass list.
You can hear the faithful for A.J. Achter.
I'm really glad that in the minor leagues they don't charge you for tickets because so one of my teammates took a picture because you just write them on a pass list that you're used to, and I literally had a full page of it was like 60 tickets, I swear.
The parents of A.J. Achter enjoying that half inning for the young man from Toledo as he sets him down in order.
AJ lives in Brighton, Michigan, and works in medical sales with Stryker. He says the new chapter is still competitive, just in a different way.
It's a really cool transition from playing coaching where you're still competing, you still have to build relationships and cultivate those relationships, but also a lot more flexibility than coaching and playing. Just the little things like that you don't get coaching and playing.
From Clay to Michigan State to the major leagues, and now thriving in life after baseball. A.J. Achter, still putting in the work and still making Northwest Ohio proud.
An eventful career for Achter, one that's now led to a new chapter in his life, like Dan mentioned, and he is still making us very proud doing what he does now with his family.
And it worked the first time, right? And, you know, just trying, like I said, you're just trying to add fun, right, to football practice.
Local coaches talking trick plays, how much they keep in the playbook, when to use them, and why they sometimes work better in games than in practice. Next on the leaderboard.
High school football in and around Northwest Ohio continues to impress, from passionate crowds to state caliber programs. And I got a chance to sit down with 4 coaches talking together for the sport, and we had a little fun as well. Take a listen.
I always tell the refs for the game, like, hey, what trick plays or formations do you have? And I said, I don't think I have any. I don't even know.
Okay.
I'm not really a trick play guy.
Okay.
If we have one in there for fun, we'll run it in practice.
All right.
Yeah.
Casey, what about you?
We probably carry 4 or 5 by the end of the season, and I can't even tell you the last time we ran one.
Okay. Do you come up with them yourself, or is it coaches? Or
Coaches, Twitter.
Okay.
I've got a bunch saved on Twitter. But
We just share bookmarks.
I think we all have that bookmark.
But we don't run very many.
Okay. And Evan, do you come up with money? Or?
Usually if we are going into a game that we think is a big game and we might need something, I've always been this way. You'd hate to be in a game and wish you had one, and you don't have one. So we usually have 3 or 4 throughout the season, and against contrary belief, we used every big game last year. We used our trick plays, and they worked. Okay. And our kids get excited for it. That's another thing. We practice it. Again, it's something that you make that's fun, and sometimes it'll help you out. You know.
Absolutely. And Josh,
I think we had like 3 or 4 that we practiced all year and used them against Highland. Andy probably saw them on film. We used them all against Highland a little too late.
All of them, okay.
But we scored on every single one of them. So it was one of those deals where it's like, why didn't we do this earlier? But we did the old hook and ladder one. And we did the
flea flicker.
We sent the slot in motion and throw behind, and then he threw the double pass. So, but we repped them all week, every week, and then used them week 12 against Highland when it was too little, too late. But usually we keep 2 or 3 and just rep them all year, and if we need them, we'll pull them out.
I'm always curious. So if it works in a game, obviously they now have film on it. Do you use it again later, or do you have to come up with something new?
Typically we come up with something new, but then I think we all probably should remind ourselves sometimes that it's high school football, and like if something works, just go back to it.
Well, please tell me, for you guys, if we run it against our scout team, it never works. So then I'm like, scrap it. But I always think I have to practice it on air, because you're like, what's going to happen? Is this kid's going to chase it across the field? You run against your scout team and the kid doesn't go, and you're like, it's not going to work.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. When we run against our scout team, our kid, that's bigger almost in the game. I think they're more confident in the game than against scout team, because they know I'm the moment it doesn't look all right, I'm gonna scratch it.
If we run it once against our scout team, the next day they're calling it out as you're explaining it. Oh, they're going to run that trick play.
So we run it on air.
Yeah.
Then I can convince everybody and myself it's going to work.
And I call the offense for us, and I'm like, if it doesn't work, I'm just like, everybody calm down, it'll be fine. Like, we just keep repping it.
And you also go, like, you make the playoffs and you realize, hey, what film they got, and then you go back and you're like, hey, they don't have these plays, right? Our trick plays, we can practice those again. It worked the first time, right? And just trying, like I said, you're just trying to add fun, right, to football practice.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like the conversion rate is pretty good for you guys. Maybe you should keep doing it.
I think we got lucky.
Yeah. Perhaps that means more trick plays during big board season. Who knows? Certainly would make play of the night fun to figure out. Great conversation with those guys. If you want to watch the full segment, that is available now on WTL11 Plus and our YouTube channel. So, Noelle, your favorite trick play in football, do you have one?
I can't think of one off the top of my head. Okay. Do you have one that you want to talk about?
I like the flea flicker. That's the one where they pass it back to the quarterback and they throw it downfield. Yeah. Have you seen a fumble rooski before?
I don't believe so. Maybe.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen it in the high school level. That takes a little bit of coordination to pull off. But hopefully, all of them talking high school, trick plays in high school. Hopefully, we see some more during the fall here. That would certainly make for some Big Board Friday good content there, huh?
Absolutely. Well, earlier this month, an established sports writer visited her roots of Ottawa Hills High School. Christine Brennan is a columnist for USA Today and recently finished her newest book. Brennan was born in Toledo and went to Ottawa Hills Hills High School. She studied journalism at Northwestern and eventually became the first female sports reporter for the Washington Post. She's now a columnist at USA Today and has written 8 books, including her latest, which just dropped earlier this month. It's called On Her Game and covers Caitlin Clark's impact on women's sports. Brenna was at Ottawa Hills High School to promote the book and said she was excited to be back in her hometown to share a deeper look into Clark's role in the revolution of women's sports.
I think the magic of Caitlin Clark, the joy in sports, how great sports can be, how wonderful someone like Caitlin Clark can be as a role model. Those stories, and also I deal with the journalistic aspects of the league and what they're dealing with, and this moment, and some of the growing pains and issues they've had to deal with. But I really try to tell an American story, a story that 12-year-old boys and girls will enjoy reading, their moms and dads, their grandparents, everyone will, I think, enjoy On Her Game.
And I want to go back to that last soundbite she said at the end there. She wrote an American story that people of all ages can enjoy, and I think that's important to keep in mind, especially with the attention that the book has been getting lately. Kind of controversial, shedding light, Caitlin Clark in a certain light, but I think I've read the first couple chapters of the book, and it's really just a journalistic inside look into Clark's everyday life. She sheds light on who she is as a person, not just, the deep threes that she does or, the trash talking with everybody. It really just goes deeper into who Caitlin Clark is.
Absolutely. And it's cool to see because obviously she didn't go to a big school like, Ohio State or Connecticut or anything. She went to Iowa. So to see her be the face of the WNBA coming from, a place where not many, stars in the past have gone to is really cool. And obviously to see a Toledo win, obviously write her story here is also pretty awesome to have that local tie as well.
And she's on her book tour, and what better place to start it than right here in Toledo?
Absolutely.
We know that we have a chance to win every single match and every time we walk on the court.
Toledo's new volleyball coach is ready to make a splash. Hear how he's building a winner coming up next on the leaderboard.
Well, it's coming up quick, and I personally couldn't be more excited. Believe it or not, the college volleyball season starts in a month. And this week, our Chase Bachman sat down with Toledo volleyball head coach Brian Wright. They talked about taking over the program and the sport of volleyball. Here's a look into their conversation.
What's kind of life been like the past few months? You took over the program in December. How's life? How are things?
Nonstop, in the best way possible. This city has been amazingly welcoming to me. Just getting to know everybody. I got about 4 months of training the team and getting things going. Just absolutely fell in love with the returners and where we are and where we're going with the program. And did some recruiting, brought some people in. We just had 7 players show up this summer, and now I'm out there recruiting, getting on the road. We just had our summer camps. We had some really, really great numbers, and now we're planning a fundraiser and getting ready for the first season ever.
Absolutely. You were at Ohio State for several years, so being to Toledo can't be that much of a culture shock, right? I mean, you're a Texas guy originally, but you've been at Ohio State the last few years, so Ohio isn't too unfamiliar with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the Midwest now for about 5.5 years, and just this area of the country in general, it has been I've absolutely loved it. There's really are the players that walk in the gym. There's never a question on whether or not they're going to work their hardest, and just having people that love this area, and Toledo is in such a fantastic spot to recruit. There's so much talent within 3 hours of here that I've gotten to drive all around, everywhere from Indianapolis to Cincinnati to Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit, that little circle, and it's been really, really good for recruiting.
Yeah, we had Alex Del Piombo, Bowling Green head coach. She's brand new, just like you. She was talking about the recruiting base around this area. The Midwest is great. Michigan especially, they got all these clubs, they got all these really terrific players. How does it compare to maybe the girls in Texas or the Plain States, the South, that you had probably familiarized yourself with for a long time?
Yeah, I'd built a ton of connections in Texas, and we could still get a player or two from Texas to come up here. We've got a player from Arizona and a player from Hawaii and on the team right now, so I know we can expand that base. I think the joke is, and the kind of the thing is why is everybody so tall in Texas? There's a lot more height there, but what I find here is that the clubs really focus on skill, work ethic, and some things that really lead towards my goals of just being consistently great every day. If we take care of those things, we know that we have a chance to win every single match and every time we walk on the court.
Catch Chasing the Game on WTOL 11 Plus, YouTube, and Spotify.
Brian right there, first-year head volleyball coach coming up at Toledo. I appreciate the last thing he said about height isn't everything, especially me playing volleyball my whole life.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
At a whopping 5'4", okay? It was denied by many coaches, but, you know, characteristics is what it comes down to, that hard work ethic. So I'm excited to see what he does with the Rockets this fall.
It's interesting because BG also has a first-year head coach as well.
Right,
so
yep.
a lot of exciting stuff in volleyball coming up in this fall for the MAC. Now it's time for this week's leaderboard poll of the week.
That's right, Tyler, and I'm excited to catch you back up to date and hear your opinion because last week we asked the viewers, what do you think is the most iconic moment in Toledo Mud Hens history?
Okay. Well, our winning choice by a mile, as it turns out, again, I wasn't here, Jamie Farr, highlighting the team during his time on MASH. While not a player for the team, his number is still ceremoniously retired. Second place was the opening of Fifth Third Field in 2002, while the Governor's Cup win and Mike Hessman becoming the all-time home run king was a tie for third place. I mean, are we shocked by those results?
Not at all. I think that's great. Anytime you have a hometown hero or somebody of status of sort, you know, go that far and make a big name for themselves, to always remember your roots and where you came from. Definitely giving Toledo some love and light. I think that's great.
So I've been here for 3 years. My favorite memory so far when they brought out the beer bats.
The beer bats, is that a last 3 years thing? Did they just come up with that?
I think within the last year.
Well,
I mean, at least I haven't seen them since, you know, last summer. But
yeah, I will say my favorite moment is when I was first moving here 2 years ago, just 1 year short of you. I went to a Toledo Mud Hens game a week before I went to work when I was apartment hunting, and they won by a walk-off. So I was like, I think this is a sign I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, there you go.
And more memories to come, obviously, for the long season we still have ahead through the end of September. But for next week's poll question, this week we're talking fandom. Our question is, which fan base is the most loyal year after year? Oh boy. Your options are the Detroit Lions, the Cleveland Browns, Ohio State University, or the University of Michigan.
I'm imagining this is going to be a lot more competitive in terms of the race here.
I mean, with all our coworkers, I got to say Browns, but.
Oh, you're going Browns.
I think what they've been through,
I was going to say, well, I'm afraid to say Ohio State, but I think it's Ohio State.
Just keep rooting them on year after year. Anyway, we'll get into it next week. But to vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or head to WTOL11.com and head to the sports section. As always, we'll be back here next week to break down the results.
Now for this week's parent shout-out of the week, this week's athlete is Noah.
Noah is a hockey player from Toledo, and he may only be 6 years old, but his love for hockey started even earlier. Take a look.
He was skating by the time he was 2.5, which is impressive. This past fall, Noah suited up for the Toledo Cherokee as a right winger. Then this spring, he double rostered. That means he was playing for both the Cherokee 7U team and Pillar Hockey Academy's 8U squad during the same season.
I can't even get on the ice at 23. He proudly wears the number 5, just like his dad, who plays for the Toledo Mobsters. Noah says his dad's dedication to the game is a big reason he fell in love with it himself. We're told there's no off season for Noah. That's because he trains 2 days a week at Pillar Hockey Academy and another 2 days a week at Tam O'Shanter.
Now, Noah may be young, but he's already showing the heart and hustle of a future star. Way to go, buddy. Look at the goal right there. I mean, the dangle, the skating ability. I mean, he's 6 years old. That's insane.
I mean, I was just impressed that he could get on the ice at 6 years old on blades.
Yeah, so you can't skate? Or?
I can stand. When it comes to movement, it's all downhill from there.
Do you use the wall?
Yeah. Or whoever's standing next to me and they come down with me and are my cushion.
I gotcha.
But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I don't look like a duck when I do it too. I don't look fluid.
Yeah, me neither do I.
I don't look.
We'll leave the skill in hockey to Noah because he obviously looks like he's going to be a star here in Northwest Ohio. Well, that is going to do it, right?
That's right. But for next week, do you have an athlete in your life? Well, we want you to show them off. Send us your best photos and videos. Your submissions could be featured in WTOL 11 sports specials and across our social media platforms. All you have to do is text us your highlights and be sure to include your name, your star's name, and a hometown. That number is 419-248-1100, or you can email us at sports@WTOL.com. What a great show today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Yes, we're glad to have you back,
Thank
Tyler.
you,
We
Noah.
missed you,
Appreciate
definitely.
it.
But that's going to do it for another episode of The Leaderboard here on WTOL 11+. I'm Noelle Blumel.
And I'm Tyler Segerman from our entire WTOL 11 Leaderboard team. We'll see you next game.